Hey, it's DIY Gemini, and today we're doing another sewing video because yes, I've been on a roll with sewing lately, and yes, I do have another wedding to attend to. So this video is going to be kind of a bumpy road because there's a lot of fails along the way, but nevertheless, we prevailed. We still got a dress at the end of the day. So with that, let's go to the thrift store and get some fabric for our dress.
So in my last video, I thrift flipped a dress and jacket set into a modern three-piece Filipiniana set for another wedding, and I'll link that video in the cards and description below to watch if you haven't already. This time, we're going to start from scratch and check my favorite place to get large pieces of fabric, the sheets and linen sections of the thrift store. I highly recommend doing this, especially if you're a beginner, because you get a lot of fabric for a great price, and it's really low stakes if you make a mistake. I picked up this king size 100% cotton cream bed sheet for $8, and then I'm going to wash it when I get home.
Okay, for this dress, we're going to be trying the free pattern from Mood Fabrics called the Valentina dress. It features a fitted waist, a cupped bust detail, flowy skirt, and since we did a corset in the last video, and I did pretty good on that, I was feeling kind of confident that we can execute this pattern correctly and swiftly. Yeah, what can go wrong? But we'll get to that momentarily. Let's just go through the tutorial and process and act like I got this in the bag.
Let's cut out our pattern pieces. I'm using the sheet as a main fabric and as the lining fabric, so we're actually going to cut 4 pieces of each of the bodice pieces. First, we're going to join the front center and front side pieces of right sides together, and I'll have 4 sets, 2 for the main fabric, 2 for the lining. Do the same to join the center back and center side pieces. As a note, I do plan on dyeing this, so I'm going to be using 100% cotton thread as well, so that can dye with it. Next, I'm going to press all my seams open. I have the front, left, and right sides pieces, and we're going to sew them right sides together, and then we'll press open the seam. Now for the bust. I added darts to give the bust a 3D curve like this. After creating the darts, we're going to attach them to the front bodice right sides together. Then I made clips along the curved edge to help with the seam lay flat.
Okay, so it's time to put on the underwire and padding for the chest area, but I don't want to buy anything new and I don't want to go outside to buy anything, so I'm just going to tear up an old bra and swimsuit to use those as our piece for our dress. Okay, so I might have messed up just a wee bit. So remember when I said to trim the curved under part of where the breast is? We weren't supposed to do that. I was thinking since it's a curve and to have it lay flat, you would normally trim like little snippets to make it lay flat. But in this case, I didn't need to do that because that was supposed to be the channel for our underwire. It's still going to work, but just know you aren't supposed to snip the curved edge like I did. You can just totally skip that part.
I'm going to sew along the curve of the seam to make the channel for the wire. It won't be pretty, but at least it's on the inside and you'll never know. Before we put in the wire, let's join the lining fabric and the main fabric together. We'll sew along the neckline and leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches at the strap so we can adjust that later. Then sew along the armhole, again leaving 1 to 1.5 inches gap at the top for the strap adjustment. We'll do the same for the other side as well. Next, I'll hand sew some bra cups from an old bra that I had. The pattern recommended triangle-shaped pads, but I don't have those, and I'm just going to use what I got. Next, let's turn that right sides out and give everything a good press. It is a new day, and time to try on the bodice, adjust the straps, and sew them together.
Okay, so, yeah, I might have made another boo-boo. God, this project's a mess. Yeah, let me show you. Here's where I may have messed up. So this side lays very flat on here and it doesn't pucker. It looks great. This side has this gap here. And I was like, why can't I get it to lay flat? And I think it's because, I know it looks crazy right now because it's not attached in the back, but I think it's because I might have not mirrored this the other way. I think that's what happened because the shape of this and the shape of this looks maybe the same. I don't really know. But yeah, we're so close. Okay, so I had flipped the one that was wrong. Now it lays flat. So amazing. We fixed it. So let's go to sleep because it is 4 a.m. and I need to go to sleep. Okay, good night.
The instruction originally had said to hand stitch the straps together after doing the adjustments, but I'm just going to do a French seam instead. And that's when like the raw edge gets encased into the seam so that you have a clean seam on the inside. Moving on to the skirt, I sewed 2 back panels to the front panel and then zigzag stitched the raw edge to prevent any fraying. I'm going to gather the skirt by hand basting the waist and gathering the fabric. Next, we'll put right sides together to the bodice, ensuring the width of the skirt matches the width of the bodice and that the gathers are even along the entire width. Then we'll sew that with a straight stitch. Okay, I've sewn the skirt part to the bodice, and I'm gonna be honest, it's bad. It's not good. It's really not good. Yeah, let me just take you to vertical real quick, and I can show you how much of a disaster this is. Give me a second. Are you guys ready? Okay, let me put this on here. First of all, the zipper's not on, so it's not completely enclosed, so it's not gonna be like tightened all the way. Oh, this is so bad. First of all, this is not doing well for my tummy. I got a pooch there, you know, and she's not very forgiving. It's not great. The drop waist is way too low. I'm only like 5'3", so this does not look good on my height at all. Second, the cups are not like super great. I thought they were fine, but they really aren't. And it's just not doing me any favors. So yeah, I'm in a dilemma. It's not great. I am proud of like this though, how this came out was like very smooth. My armholes were actually pretty good, which I'm happy with, but this whole thing is not super great. So I need to fix it. I thought about like raising this waist, right? So like say it's like this. I think that will look a lot better as a straight waist rather than a drop. I mean, that's not perfect, but at least that's better, right? The low drop waist thing is just not working. I'm so upset because I worked so hard on this and I actually took my time like sewing, making sure it was nice and neat. It just did not end up well, but this is the process of DIY and this is the process of learning. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is salvage the bottom because I think the bottom is still salvageable, and I'm going to just redo the top altogether, just a different silhouette for the top, and then we'll piece it to the skirt. It's okay because you know what? We are still learning, we're still making and creating stuff, so we're just going to pivot and we're going to make it work. So let me brainstorm and I'll be right back. I had a night's sleep and a fresh mind to retackle this dress, so we're going to rearrange the original pattern into something new. I'm going to raise the waist and create a square neckline. This is now our new pattern, and hopefully it works out a lot better than the last one. Front panels here, let's sew that. There was nothing really wrong with the original back pieces, so I left those alone. Since I sewed these already, I didn't want to seam rip them to sew them the proper way, so I'm going to sew it to the front main and lining fabrics one layer at a time. Last step is sewing the invisible zipper on and sewing the rest of the back center seam closed.
Okay, procrastinator once again, because guess how many hours I have until this wedding. Why am I like this?
Anyway, I was looking to do a deep wine color in theme for fall. Honestly, I should have put less water and probably maybe a little bit of black dye mixed in with this to make this a little bit darker because I wasn't starting off with a pure white fabric. It came out more berry, which is still pretty, but not what I wanted. But there's absolutely no more time to fix this, so we're going to put it in the washer and then we'll be off to a beautiful fall wedding.
All right, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this crazy roller coaster of a ride. I was a mess. The dress was a mess. But you know what? We learned a lot, and it was actually at least decent enough for me to wear to the wedding, even though it didn't fit quite right and I didn't super love it. It wasn't fitting quite right because it was just too big. I had used the XL size of the pattern when I should have used a large probably. I was just basing it off the measurements that was provided on the chart and it matched to the XL size, but clearly that wasn't it. So another thing that I could have done better was definitely the invisible zipper. It was not invisible. It was definitely very visible. I did not do a close enough stitch to the teeth, so you could definitely still see it. It wasn't too apparent since I chose a brown color. I think once I re-dye it, which is another thing I wanted to fix, because I was originally going for a deep burgundy wine red color. Um, so once I re-dye it to that color later down in the future and fix the dress altogether, um, I will have the zipper at least more camouflaged in to the new color. Yeah, all of these things are quite fixable for me to do in the future. So redying the dress, redoing the zipper, sizing the bodice a little bit closer to my size. These are all things that I can do in the future and hopefully love the dress at one point. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in how I turned another bedsheet into a dress that I love on vacation, here, I will link it in the cards above and in the description below for you guys if you wanted to watch that. And yeah, as much as I love to savor the fall, because fall is my favorite, I do have some holiday stuff rolling in mind right now. So I'm excited to have that season again. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already so you don't miss those. And I will see you the next one. Bye.